Well, hello everybody. Rob here in Bakersfield, California on the Sportster 72. And welcome to this week's Throwback Thursday. Hope that idiot behind me hits the brakes. Hey, slow down, okay. So, today's story is going to be about my early days. I just got out of the academy and was going through field training. I was working down out of Central Division downtown, up around the Balboa Park area, and to the east of that a little. Anyways, I was out with my FTO, my field training officer, and we get a burglary call with a description of a male Mexican, and they gave a clothing description of him. He gave us an address. Supposedly one of the neighbors saw the guy break into the house. So we head over there, get to the house, and we go around and check the whole outside the house. Well, the house is all locked up and secured, and there's no sign of a break-in. So not much else we can do at that point. We start to leave, and we're walking down the street back to our car. So we get about 2 houses away from that house that they had called the burglary in on. And this male Mexican, who fits the description of our burglar for the call down the street, comes walking out the front door of another house. Walking down the sidewalk. He takes one look at us and takes off running. Well, my field training officer looks at me and he goes, "Go get him, Rob." So off I go, running after this guy. So I'm chasing the guy down the sidewalk. I'm not really gaining on him, but I'm not really losing on him either. And I get the bright idea to use this little trick I'd seen done before, where you take your nightstick and you throw it at the suspect's feet as he's running, and he gets tangled up and falls flat on his face. Well, I gave that a try. It didn't really work. All I did was hit him in the back of the legs, which did stun him and slowed him down a little bit, but he didn't trip and fall like I had hoped or planned. So he keeps on running, and I keep on running after him. Well, he gets off the sidewalk now, and now I'm without my nightstick, but I figure my field training officer will pick it up for me when he catches up to me, because he's still walking. I'm running. It's gonna be a while. So the suspect, he gets off the sidewalk, he cuts through a yard, runs right through a rose hedge. I follow right behind him through the hole that he busted through the rose hedge. I come right behind him and go right through it. Get snagged by the rose bushes anyways. Not as bad as he did though. That slowed him down a little bit more. Okay, well now I'm catching up to him. I'm maybe only about 15-20 feet behind him. He runs into a vacant lot, gets over to the edge of the embankment of the freeway, because these houses are right along the freeway. We're on the top of an embankment, and he gets right to the edge of that embankment. He looks over there, and he's looking down. And I don't remember how far down it was, but it was quite a ways down to the bottom of that embankment. He stops, turns, looks at me just as I catch him, and I run into him and tackle him like a football player. Well, I had tunnel vision. All I was focused in on was catching the guy, wrapping him up, taking him down. I wasn't looking past him. to the fact that he was standing on the top of an embankment and we were going over the edge, which is just what we did. I wrap him up around the top in a bear hug. We go over the edge of that embankment. He goes down on his back. I sit down right on top of him, and we go sliding down the embankment. I've got a hold of his hands, kind of hanging on to him, sliding like a sled or something down a hill covered with snow, because it's all covered with this ice plant crap just like this here. We go sliding down on the top of that thing. This embankment was much higher than that though. This is down in San Diego. Probably 3 or 4 times as tall as that. We get sliding down there, I finally dig my boots in, stop us from sliding. Well, now I gotta handcuff him and then drag his ass back up the hillside, because my FTO, he's not coming down to help me. So I handcuff him, get him up, I'm dragging his butt back up the hill, get him up to the top. Then my FTO is all happy, you know, I caught him. And I'm getting all the mud and crap off me. I'm just covered all the way down the whole right side. I got ice plant and mud and crap shoved up into my holster and my gun and on my pants and my boots, up in my leather gear. Get my nightstick from my FTO, we load him in the car and off to downtown we go to see the watch commander, get my booking slip signed, and book this guy into jail for 2 counts of burglary. And we got another officer showed up. He was going to take the burglary reports at the house he just walked out of and the original house that we got the call for. Even though there wasn't any real signs of it being burglarized, he copped out to it, so we knew he had done them both. We caught him red-handed. What else could he do? So I go into the watch commander to get my booking slip signed for the 2 charges of residential burglary. Booking sergeant stands up, takes one look at me and looks me up and down, and he goes, "What are you doing out there on the streets looking like that?" So I proudly handed him my booking slip and I said, "Well, I just tackled this guy, drug him down the hillside and wrestled him up and handcuffed him and got him for 2 counts of burglary." And he goes, "Oh, okay, well, all right, well, good job. After you get done booking this guy into jail, you can get back here and get in the locker room and change and get cleaned up before you go back out on the street. I don't want you out on the street representing this department looking like that. You're a mess." I go, "Yes, sir." So I go back out to my FTO and tell him, "Okay, we're all signed, we're ready to go, and we're on the way over to jail, on the way to jail." Tell my FTO, I go, "When we get done booking this guy into jail, we got to come back so I can get cleaned up. I got to get as cleaned up as best I can, get all this mud off me, clean my gun, and clean my holster and crap before we head back out in the field, because the booking sergeant don't want me to go back out looking like this." Problem was, I only had 2 pairs of uniform pants. The pair I was wearing and the pair that was in the dry cleaners, because I couldn't afford to buy any more at that. That's the price they cost. So when we got back, I got cleaned up as best I could. Had to sneak past the booking sergeant's office to get back in my patrol car and get back out on the field without him seeing that I hadn't changed my pants. I got my leather gear cleaned up and I got my gun cleaned and got the mud out of the barrel. Got my boots cleaned up and shined, but I still had mud all the way down inside my pants, so I couldn't get cleaned off. So I had to stop off at the dry cleaners, get my other pair of pants out of the dry cleaners before going back to work the next day, and get that pair put in to get clean. So that's just my funny little story. It was probably a lot funnier if you were there to see it. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Come back next week for a new story, new time. Well, no, not new time. Still gonna be Throwback Thursday. But a new story anyway. Bye bye and see you later.